How often do you have a chance to really make a difference? In Kathmandu, Nepal, there's a special place for children in need. Its name is the Mitrata Children's Home. Established in 2002 with a single orphan child, Mitrata now provides total care for 56 boys and girls and quality education and medical care for another 26 children. This loving home in Nepal is supported by the Mitrata-Nepal Foundation for Children, largely through individual gifts from donors with big hearts. Mitrata started in St. Louis, Missouri, but the volunteers who run the foundation now extend around the world. This is the story of a remarkable group of people and the underprivileged children that they help. Nepal is a tiny landlocked Himalayan country in Asia, about the same size as Illinois. It is bordered by two great superpowers, Tibet, now part of China, to the north, and India on all other sides. Nepal is 75% mountainous, boasting the world's 10 highest peaks, including Mount Everest. Tourists have traditionally flocked to Nepal's great peaks for trekking and climbing, but it's culturally rich as well, with over 60 different ethnic and linguistic groups. Nepal has been at a cultural crossroad between Buddhism and Hinduism since the days of the Silk Road. Like India, the majority of Nepalese are Hindu. Yet the Buddha was born in Lumbini, Nepal, and 10% of Nepalese share the Buddhist religion with their Tibetan neighbors. This intermix of religious influences can be seen in the unique art and architectural stupas, pilgrimage sites, and beautiful statuary throughout the countryside. In spite of its fascinating culture and spectacular beauty, Nepal has never been a materially rich country. The conditions for children are particularly harsh, and over half of Nepal's population are children. Half of them are malnourished, and only 25% live with adequate sanitation. Less than 1/3 of girls attend high school, and child labor is pervasive. Following 10 years of Maoist insurrection and the overthrow of the monarchy, relative peace has reigned for about a year. However, the long conflict killed about 15,000 people, displaced thousands more, and further strained an already weak economy. Many children were orphaned or given up by families who had no means of caring for them. Yet it is not just political instability that can devastate a family. Here's the story of the tragedy that drove Palwin to the Mitrata home.
I was born in rural area of Nepal, where there is no any facilities of communication and transportation. Very rural areas where the people are mainly farmers. And my father was born there in farmer's family. And he studied there in high school, maybe in government school. After completing his study, he went to cities area and married there, and he started to work in bank, and I was also there. And the biggest festival of Hindus there is Dasai. At the time of Dasai, my mother was also in village, and he was ready to come in village. I was also in village at the time. He was ready to go in village, and he was murdered before one day ago by some robbers because he used to work in bank. By the time he used to sit in rent in a house in Tarai.
Fortunately, there is hope for Palwin and other children in Mitrata. Mitrata, which means friendship in Nepali, started with a friendship between two women, Nanda Kulu and Christine Schutz. Nanda grew up in a small village in Nepal where she suffered many losses and endured the severe poverty of village life.
So I born in India. So until I was 17 years. After I entered Kathmandu, somebody bring me their house for housekeeper. But that was in village. They took me in village. So I worked 3 years in their house. But I was very sick, every day starving, not giving enough food. I have to do, 3 o'clock I have to wake up in the morning, all in the housework, and I have to go jungle for grass and for wood. And I was nearly dying before I met Ganesh.
She never had the opportunity to go to school. In spite of these hardships, she married and built her life in Kathmandu, creating a modest business that sold musical instruments in the busy tourist areas of the city. From halfway around the world, Gil Williams, who runs an import business in St. Louis, Missouri, befriended Nanda on his trips to Nepal to buy art, handicrafts, and musical instruments.
I'd worked with Nanda and her husband in a small shop in Kathmandu since '93, and our friendship was we had a very close friendship through those years of business, and also through the heart and through the music and through these small Nepali drums called models. It turned out in the late 90s she was coming to visit the States, which is of course a major happening. She came to stay with me in St. Louis, and I introduced her to a very dear friend, Christine. They became like sisters. Through that initial connection, I think, was this initial seed of Mitrata, was that personal friendship beyond cultures, just a close friendship between two very dear friends of mine.
Through this connection, Nanda came to the U.S. to see if she could find someone who might help her realize her dream, to set up a home for poor children in Nepal.
Your assistants, you know your thing. Clap. Oh. You're a part of this now. Perfect. Yeah. Step back a little if you need to. See me?
Yeah.
Ready?
Huh?
Okay. One more. Look. Do it where you camera can see your hands come together. No, more this way. There you go. One more.
Could we go back one more? Like 50.
Okay. They go back to time point 50?
50, yes.
Okay, let me click and bring that over.
Himal mahu tarai majori himal mahu tarai majori Nepalaka hami para chora chori Nepalaka hami para chora chori himal mahu tarai majori Nepalaka hami para chora chori